I hate to waste cardstock. Oh, it's just one of my biggest pet peeves. But today I've got a card where we're going to use the leftovers, the scraps, the throwaways, and we're not going to create just one card. We're going to create two. Hi, everybody. I'm Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com, and today we're going to talk about how we're not going to throw away anything, how we're going to use up every last bit of cardstock. We're going to create two really fun Christmas cards. You're going to love how quick and easy they go together. So let's get started with today's Tuesday tip. I'm so excited to share with you how to create these very simple cards. And how awesome is it going to be that we're going to use the leftovers from this card to create this card. Let's go over the supplies you need to create these. I'm going to start with a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock. This is an 8.5 by 11-inch piece. We'll cut that down into our two card bases. And then I've got two pieces of colored cardstock. I'm making a Christmas card today, so we're going to go real red and garden green. These are both identical. They are 4 by 5.25. My sentiment is just going to kind of go like this. Let me give you these measurements. My garden green cardstock is 2.5 by 3.25, and this little piece of Whisper White is 2 by 2.25. Now we're also going to need just a little bit of ribbon, and I chose the silver metallic edge ribbon. I have 16 inches of that. I love this ribbon because it just tends to go with anything. Now, the star of the show is most definitely the Plaid Builder Die Set. I love this one. It's just a two-piece set, but this is one of those dies that you're going to use over and over again. In fact, stay tuned to the end of the video because I've got a whole nother card to share with you that's not Christmas focused. And that way I can show you how you can use this die set all year long. Now, any of your favorite Christmas sentiments are going to work. I love the Christmas Means More set. I don't know, it kind of brings out the kid in me because these are some of my favorite movies. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings, or maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more from the Grinch. And the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Yes, Elf, all-time favorite Christmas movie. So this one made me really happy, and it kind of went along with the whimsical look of my cards. I only need one ink pad. How about that? Just a real red ink pad. That's all we're going to use today. First things first, let's prep our cardstock. I am going to score that cardstock in half. I've got the 11-inch side there at the top, and I'm going to score it at 5.5. And then I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to cut it at 4.25. That's going to give me my two card bases. I do always like to score first, then cut. It saves me time. And then you can just take your bone folder and we can give those card bases a really nice crease. They're ready to go. Now we're going to work on that plaid builder because this is the coolest part. I'm going to start with the large squares, and we're going to bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I want to go over the sandwich with you. So I have the base plate 1, thin die adapter 2, cutting plate 3. Now, after we get cutting plate 3 on there, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to actually flip my die upside down because I want to center up my cardstock right inside that die. Just make sure you get it right where you want it so that everything's nice and centered. And now I'm going to top it with cutting plate 3, and I can run this through my machine. And now you can see I kind of have a mess, right? But we're going to take some of these little squares that are left over, and this is going to be for our other piece. Now, you know, stamping, it can be a little messy sometimes. We've got a lot of little pieces here that we're going to need to take over to the trash, or, you know, throw them on your floor, torture your kids, make them pick up all those little pieces, whichever makes you happy. Give your die cut a quick look over, make sure, whoops, yep, see, we just want to make sure we got all those little pieces out. We're good to go there. Now it's time to bring in the builder part. So I'm going to place my die there, again, cutting side up. Normally we don't do that. Normally we always put cutting side down, but because I want to really see and I want to make sure I get that lined up, and I'm going to have a trick for you if for some reason you didn't get it lined up. All right. So we'll be able to save anything. Don't worry if we're not perfect. Okay. We're going to top it with plate 3. We're going to run this one through as well. And now with this die, you see, this is all we need for our first card, but look at all these great pieces. And there are six nice squares right in the middle. There are some little short ones, but we only want these little more perfect squares. All right, so I should have six. Yes, I do. You might have some fun with these. Today, we're just going to focus on the two cards. We have this done. It's time to put the cards together. I told you, really fast, simple cards. I'm going to bring in a silicone mat because I'm going to be doing a little bit of gluing here. You can either use your Stampin' Seal or your multi-purpose glue. Guys, I'm going to go with the multi-purpose glue today because I just want easy. And you can see I'm just putting some little dots of glue on every open square so we can adhere this to the front of the card. This is where I said, oh, if you mess up and it doesn't come out perfectly straight, not to worry. You could take this and you could put this inside your Stampin' paper cutter, all right, and you could just trim it down. If you will trim it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inch, it's going to fit perfectly on your card. All right, giving all of those little squares a little press. It's already looking pretty good. Now we're going to bring in the little, I'm going to call it my tic-tac-toe board. And we just need to add a little bit of glue to this. Now, everyone's going to want to do it maybe a little bit different way. You've seen me use the trick with the sponge and just sponging the glue on. That's going to work. But you know what? The multi-purpose glue, look at that great little fine tip. Oh, speaking of fine tips, I know a lot of you also love your fine tip glue pen. That is also going to be a perfect product to use to add this. So it's nice to know whatever your favorite adhesive is, you're going to be able to add this to your card. All right, let me finish getting some glue on here, and then we'll add this, and we're going to make that great Christmas card. And we are simply going to add that right here to our card. Let's make sure we give everything a nice press. Isn't that just fun and festive? I love it. I'm going to set this one off to the side because I want to go ahead and work on my second card, and then we'll come in and create sentiments and make them look amazing. So for my bonus card with my leftovers, we're going to start with these squares. Again, I'm going to bring in my silicone mat, and I want to flip all of these upside down, make sure I've got all 6 of them. And on the first one, I'm just going to add glue right here to the bottom because it is going to hang off the top of my card. Can you see how I'm just lining that up right there? Yep. And you can see, yeah, I got a little bit of glue there. I'm not worried about it. We're going to be trimming that off. Now I'm going to do the same thing down here at the bottom of my card. And so again, just glue kind of down here at the bottom corner. And we're going to add this one. Just going to kind of eyeball that. And you know, another tip, if you are not sure you can get that lined up, and I know it's not something that we're all really, really good at, you could easily draw a pencil line right down there. I could go ahead and get one set. I could draw a pencil line. Hey, you know what? Instead of talking about it, let's do it. All talk, no action. We're going to make some action. Yeah, I'm just going to draw a simple line. I'm not worried about it. It's not going to show. We're going to totally cover it up. But that's going to give me a line so that I can keep adding my little squares. So now we're going to line this one up, and we're just going to make those points touch. Do you see? They're just touching. I've got a little glue here on this next one, and we're going to make those touch. Okay. My last one, I said we had 6, but we're only going to use 5. We're going to add our last one. And guess what? It's going to kind of overlap a little bit. And that's okay because we're going to be filling in, and we're going to fill in with these little squares. But you know what? We're going to make them pop. And guys, you're going to love this. We're going to do that with the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm just going to add these dimensionals right here in between each of those little points. Do you see what I mean? Pencil mark, gone, can't even see it. We love that. All right, now I'm going to remove my backings. And while I do that, hey, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you as a subscriber. We have so much fun here sharing stamping ideas together, and I love having new subscribers and I love hearing from you. So leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up on YouTube. I love those as well. All right, so you can see, oh, do you already see just how cute? And this one, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of Elf a little bit, right? It's very retro and whimsical. I love. Okay, we've got those on there. We need to trim this excess off. And of course, your cardstock is your guide. And so you don't have to worry about being perfect because your scissors just kind of glide right along that cardstock, making sure you get a nice even cut. Now let's have a little fun. I'm going to take some of our adhesive back rhinestones and I'm going to add these right in the middle. Christmas means bling, right? We love our little Christmas bling. And I think Buddy the Elf would be quite proud to have a little bling here on the card. Festive with a capital F. All right, let's bring in our other one and it's time to get our stamping and then we get to finish up our cards. All right, the stamping could not be more simple. I'm telling you, we're going to start with the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And we're going to stamp that on that square. This was the 2 by 2¼ inch Whisper White. I like to let my red sit on the cardstock for just a little bit. I want to make sure that ink really soaks into the cardstock. All right, now my big one there. By the way, the Stamparatus would be perfect here if you are concerned about your ink not being, maybe your ink pad's not juicy enough and you want to be able to stamp it twice. Using your Stamparatus is an awesome way to do that. But we're going to go quick and easy today. And again, remember, I'm just kind of leaving that stamp sitting on that Whisper White cardstock. I want to make sure I'm giving it a really good press, as you can see. And there we go. See, that's how you want to make sure you get a really good stamped image. All right, now we're going to put our cards together. I'm going to bring in my multi-purpose glue again all over that garden green. And I'm going to adhere this right here in the center of my plaid card. Give it its little back rub, make it all happy, happy. I'm going to bring in that ribbon and I'm just going to tie it in a square knot here over on the right hand side. So I did right over left and under, left over right and under. And you notice I said 16 inches of ribbon. I gave you plenty because I don't want you to have to fight with it. I want you to have plenty to work with. Now my trick to perfect little square knots, only pull what's in your left hand. When you only pull what's in your left hand, do you see? You get that pretty little square knot. Now I can slide this down, which I'm going to, and we're going to trim down the excess. I'm now going to take that sentiment. Let's add some dimensionals here on the back. By the way, I only want to stay in the 4 corners because it's going to straddle that ribbon. Sentiment there on the left side. Now, earlier I used the rhinestones. We're going to use a few more. We'll use these smaller ones, and I think 3 ought to do it. Okay. Guys, that's all there is to it. We just created 2 cards, and really all we did was use the scraps and the leftovers from this card to create this one. Isn't that great? We love getting as much out of our cardstock as we can. Now, I promised you I had a non-Christmas version, and I think these turned out so sweet. This is a great masculine card. I know we all struggle with those. I chose Highland Heather and Night of Navy. I don't know, it just had a good masculine feel. I liked the way it came out. So I have a Hello Handsome, and then I have a Hello Handsome Happy Birthday. And those sentiments came from the Palette Thought stamp set. I thought they just turned out great. Oh, I did not use rhinestones. Thought the bling might be a little heavy for the guys. I used the silver metallic pearls. By the way, those pearls come gold and silver. So if you changed up the colors and the gold is going to work better for your card, not a problem. It comes with the gold, but I chose the silver there in between. Oh, and the ribbon I used on this one is that great denim ribbon. I mean, it just lent itself perfect with that night of navy. I'll have the measurements for this card and photos as this one as well at simplysimplestamping.com, or check the link in the YouTube description and you'll be able to see the link and go directly to it. Well, I would love to hear from you. Which card is your favorite? Are you partial to Christmas, or do you struggle with masculine cards and these fit the bill? Either way, you're not going to go wrong with that Plaid Builder die set. It's fantastic. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's cards. They were so much fun to make. If you were inspired by my video today, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, take a minute to click that great big red subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber here on my channel. Make it a fabulous day, everybody, and I look forward to stamping with you again soon. Bye-bye.